All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting to order. This is our Borough of Yeadon our caucus meeting, November 14th, 2024. Please excuse our tardiness. We are having some technical difficulties with getting the Zoom to go live. It is recording and will be available, but the Zoom participants can't see right now. So calling this meeting to order. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Can we proceed with our roll call?
Esteemed Mayor Rowan Hepkins.
Present.
President Latoya Moreau.
Present.
Vice President Liana Roclow. Present. Councilor Nicole Beatty is away. Happy birthday. Councilor Antoinette Trueheart.
Present.
Councilor Michael Trent.
Present.
Councilor Jesse Peets.
Present.
Councilor Loren Johnson.
Present.
Brianna Bryant from Kilkenny Law.
Present.
Nafis Nichols, our Finance Director, is away today. Yolanda Hughes, our Tax Collector, is away. And we have Megan Tadara from Pannoni Engineering. Present.
Next, we will continue with our citizens forum. We will start with Ema Jabbar.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Hakima. I'm about to say Yeadon, I'm Gunther. I'm basically here to advocate on behalf of the library. Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm advocating for the library as, one of the board members. As many of you may know, we're trying to find a library director. We're in the process of trying to interview and whatnot. And so one of our challenges is being competitive with other municipalities in terms of pay. So during this budget season, I did send an email to the finance director to see if there's a possibility if we can have a slight increase for the library director's position. And also overall, our staff, our wonderful staff, if we can consider increasing their pay as well. So I'm just here on their behalf, just trying to advocate for the library staff and our director in terms of equitable pay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Jabbar, did you, were there any comparisons?
Yes, I sent it to Mr.
Nichols. All right.
If you need me to forward it to y'all, I'll be sure to do that.
Thank you. Next up, we have Anna Della San Antonio.
At the last meeting, I addressed derogatory comments that were made about me by Council President Latoya Monroe. And before the meeting ended, she made additional derogatory comments calling me a disruptor, solely because I was not physically present for the remainder of the meeting. Note, it was the only time I've ever left the meeting early. Madam President called me a disruptor because I left, in her words, without witnessing the conclusion of the business of the borough. Clearly, I am interested in this community and her actions are inexcusable. Of course I was watching. Residents take note, not one of the other councilors said a word to Council President, and that's not acceptable either. In terms of finances, Sharon Council Harris resigned in January. Her bank account signing authorization was not removed until October. That's 10 months later. That's inappropriate and proper internal controls need to be put in place. The tax collector is an elected position and it needs to remain as such. Let's not waste taxpayer dollars having the solicitor see if the elected status can be changed. The 2025 budget needs to be balanced without raising taxes. The engineering firm, while reputable, needs to be given a mandate to keep the net amount after grants at $100,000. The preliminary 2025 budget has the net amount at a much higher amount. If the engineering firm cannot get additional grants to cap the net annual amount at $100,000, then we need to look at hiring a different firm. We also need to find a way to stabilize and reduce the insurance premium costs, both the liability and health premium costs. The current police contract ends December 31st. Regardless of whether the contract is extended or if a new police chief is hired, we need to make sure more beneficial terms are negotiated for the borough. We also need to revisit the police chief's salary in terms of how that equates in terms of applicable years of community policing. Fiscal responsibility was one of the campaign promises made by the councilors who took office in January. The 2025 budget needs to be balanced without requiring a tax increase. Residents cannot afford another increase. In closing, residents need to continue watching and speaking up and rallying against derogatory comments made against residents. Councilors stoically defend any calls for change or possible improvement with regards to the police chief. This stands in stark contrast to how council acts when derogatory comments are made by members of council against female residents. The resounding, deafening silence stands as a testament to council's willingness to accept and condone derogatory comments against residents. That's inappropriate and will no longer be tolerated. This is the second time that I chose to speak up against the negative comments made about me by council. There is no justification for council for verbally attacking me, and it needs to stop. And to the residents in this room, those that are watching, if you see a councilor in person, you need to tell them that the verbal attacks on residents are inappropriate and need to stop. Thank you. I'm standing here to see if you have any comments to say to me with regards to that, because it's not appropriate.
Okay, thank you, Diana. There were no.
Once again, you're calling the wrong name, and you've done that before, and that is inappropriate, and it's a sign of disrespect.
I met you years ago. You told me that your name was.
My name is not Diana. I never told you my name was
right.
Diana. Nobody that knows me would ever call me Diana. But say what you want. It's a sign of disrespect.
All right. Thank you, Diana. There were no derogatory comments made towards you or anyone else. But thank you for your.
It's on the video.
Please don't speak out of turn. Next up, we have K.C. Drayton of Grundale Acres.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Just wanted to express my gratitude for the veterans as well. I was not able to make the event of being a veteran. Father before me, my son and grandson after me. It was a wonderful event to miss. And I heard some very good things about it, as well as noticing as a relatively new resident, the work on Rundale Avenue and Yeadon. The streets are looking much easier for my wife to drive her new car. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you for coming out and welcome to the meeting. All right, that concludes our citizens forum. I don't believe that any of these require a follow-up, but I'll pass them on to our borough manager. Next, we have our mayor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. Just want to underscore two things. Just to follow up on the Veterans Day, was really one of the best Veterans Day attended in Yeadon. That was really nice. Special thanks to Nicole Beatty in her absence. Roy Hunter is in the audience, I believe, and the entire Recreation Committee. It's very nice and well thought out and provided for event. Restore Dispensary will be holding its third annual Turkey Holiday Giveaway right there, 735 Church Lane, starting at 10 a.m. on Saturday, December 21st. 10 a.m. Saturday, December 21st. All are welcome to attend. Did want to report we had two incidents in October, fights at Kerr Field. The first, our police and some other Darby and Lansdowne police assisted us. The second incident, the fight, the participant left before police arrived, but we were concerned that of the games being on Friday nights, and we're seeing around the country games were traditionally on Saturday mornings, and they've been moved to Friday nights. But Friday night is a more raucous crowd, and we're trying to among other things, get it to go back on to Saturday mornings, and also for the William Penn School District to provide a written policy. We're working that out. Police chief and William Penn School District, so that we can have a more robust policy and SOP on how those meetings can be conducted, when and where and how it will be conducted. So it's under review. There are no more scheduled home games, I understand, for the rest of the year, but other municipalities and entities do rent that space. So we're taking a look at that, because Yeadon Police bear the brunt of leasing that field, because it's entirely, even though it belongs to the William Penn School District, it's in 100% in Yeadon. So we'll report more as we get a better handle on that. But just wanted to bring that to your attention. There ends my report, Madam President.
Thank you. All right, we will move on to our manager's report.
Oh, one other thing, the chief will talk about trunk and treat. I didn't have that on my report. That went well, but we'll report on that later, so.
All right, thank you. Manager's report?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Next week, we will consider one termination, one recommendation for to fill the role of fire marshal. We have our newest employee here in the audience. This is Ms. Carla Yango Khan. Stand up. She is our new front desk receptionist, hall coordinator. She has been flying around the office trying to do a little bit of everything. She's a breath of fresh air and high energy. As you get to know her, say hi to her. She'll talk your head off. But we're honored to have you, Carla.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. We will also consider to advertise an amendment to Ordinance 172-2, which is the handicap parking form and content, to update the application fee. We will advertise an amendment to Ordinance 172-3, which is factors in determining the approval of an application of handicap parking. And we will adopt the ordinance that we advertised last month, which is 285-29, sale of vehicles on streets or public parking lots. And then one that we're excited to introduce is the lead inspection ordinance. We will advertise that, and we'll take a few months to digest that and make amendments, and hopefully get that passed by January or February. Next week, we'll consider the parking meter enforcement moratorium, as we do for the holiday season, as well as authorize Pannoni Engineering to perform a stop sign review study. There's a list of potential intersections in the manager's report. Please note some of these are existing stop signs. Some of these have just been talked about over the years, and we are interested in learning more about those intersections with a formal study. Tomorrow, I am excited to host the first, hopefully many, managers' breakfasts. We are coordinating with the 6 boroughs of William Penn School District. We will have a breakfast and planning conversation here tomorrow. We're excited to host that. And November 22nd is the blood drive. If you already haven't registered, I hope that you do, or have someone that you know register. Thank you. That concludes my report, Madam President.
Thank you, Madam President.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know if Restore has applied for a permit for the lot? I think that was an issue last time, that they had not applied for a permit to give out the turkeys in case there was a problem and anyone got hurt.
They have, asking me, they have not applied to this point.
Do you think they should in case someone, normally when we're having something permits are applied for in case someone is hurt. So I think maybe we should look into that.
That's a great suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll follow up with them and Mr. Nichols tomorrow.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay. We'll move on to our tax collectors report.
There is no structured report. We'll see if that can be dictated by legislature.
All right. The engineers report.
I have two items to discuss. The first is just an announcement that the borough was awarded a local shares account grant to complete a borough-wide infiltration and inflow study. Pretty much what that means is it was for $238,000. A lot of monitoring within the storm and sanitary system will happen to understand where flow is being lost. I think we've sent some previous correspondence regarding what they refer to as I&I to help understand and for the borough because there is currently a moratorium. So that's just to help understand and further development in the borough. So that's the first announcement. The second one is for the next round of LSA grants, which is due November 30th. We had discussed some different options, and I believe that the community park phase 2 was probably the best option for this program. I do believe we came up with a list of options, and in going through and reviewing the grant requirements, we came up with 4 items that people had recommended or things that I had heard while working on this phase of the project. While we can't do all of them, it would probably be too high of a scope, and I don't think our application could be very competitive. I'd like your feedback on if there is one. The 4 items we had under consideration were field restoration, additional parking along Providence, rubberized surface, and then a comfort station, which would include bathrooms and concessions. A comfort station can be a very strong standalone application. My recommendation would be to keep that off and make that phase 3 at a later date. It is also the most complicated item, but I wanted to put it out there and move forward. And this resolution would require, this application would require resolution at the meeting next week.
Okay. So the comfort station, where does that fall in timeline with providing a water source?
My understanding is that we would connect to and this also goes back to the whole I&I issue, is we'd be adding a bathroom, which we are in a moratorium, so we would have to go through those permitting. I'm not sure how far that is. Water, I believe we said the closest was Providence. Yes. So we would have to run connection from Providence.
Okay. So I guess my question is then where would this fall in the process? We don't want to put down this rubberized surface or redo the walkways and widen them. We're going to have to take them up to get the water source to where we need it. So
We wouldn't. We can run it probably behind along the fence is definitely between this current phase. We did stand there before all of this started and said, okay, we're not going to put in something that's going to be taken out. No, we would not do that. We have other ways of getting in.
All right. Sounds good to me.
That's everything I have unless there's any questions.
So next up, we have our solicitor's report.
Thank you, Madam President, Council, and Mayor. Our office has been working with the borough with a number of issues, including drafting the smoke shop ordinance and having that prepared for the meeting next week on November 21st. Working with the borough for drafting the prohibition of purchase and rental cars on public streets ordinance and also the lead inspections ordinance. We have been preparing for trial for 1024 Church Lane, as well as drafting a complaint in equity for 1007 Bullock Avenue. Our office has had monthly meetings with the borough manager, engineer, public works, and weekly communications with the borough manager to maintain effective and open communication between the borough and our office. That concludes my report. Thank you, and I'm available for any questions.
Next up, we have our We'll have our finance report at the next meeting. We are going to have a hearing for a budget hearing next week before our council meeting. But before then, we will also have a budget presentation via Zoom on Wednesday, at 7 for, residents to be able to log in, ask questions, and, figured that would be a little more targeted and interactive, than holding it in the second forum. So that would be next week, and we're having it on the Wednesday, and then Thursday before our legislative session, we'll have the budget hearing. All right, next up, we have our,
Madam Chair,
sorry.
the dates, you said there was going to be next Wednesday, a budget presentation?
Yes.
Is that the 20th?
Yes,
So on the 20th, okay. What time?
to 7 p.m. I believe it's posted on our website, or if it isn't, it should be by tomorrow.
Okay, all right, and then we're gonna have the hearing on legislative night,
Yes,
the 21st.
yes.
Okay. That's what time?
It starts at 6. So if we're gonna have an executive session, we'll need to schedule that early.
Also, can you just briefly provide an explanation with respect to what happened with the audio from our last meeting?
With the audio, we had
There were some concerns that the meeting, the audio was intentionally deleted or cut out, that our videos have been altered.
I'm not aware of any of those allegations, and I certainly don't know how to alter, so I can't really speak to that.
Okay.
I don't believe our videos have been altered, and we will.
So I did speak to our videographer. I believe there was a Zoom recording that was allegedly altered, but I did speak with our video person, and he did indicate that there were no microphones in the area of the audience. So therefore, the sound, anything that happened in the audience, the sound wasn't picked up because there were no microphones in that area. So he did say he was going to make sure he puts a microphone in the area of the audience, just to make sure that, everything is heard. It wasn't intentional. He just didn't have the microphones at that time.
Okay. I'm not aware of that also.
All right.
Next up, we have Public Works. Oh, I'm sorry, wait, let me see zoning. I thought that,
Yes, yes. You look not bad.
Please. Yes, go ahead, Mr. K.
I'll make it quick. Kickoff is coming up. We posted the code revenue report. There was a bit of a spike up in October, and I looked over past years, and that revenue is customarily spiked up right before the winter months. October, we took in $70,070.86 compared to September's code revenue of $20,671.53. Enforcement activities were also up a bit. Violations were 116 in October compared to 65 in September. Citations were 33 compared to 26 in September. And permits issued were 50 compared to 28 in September. I also attributed to the hard work of the code enforcement team, as well as Councilwoman Rowe-Cloud's support from your committee and encouragement, and making sure everybody is out here producing and doing everything that they can.
What do you call it, encouragement?
I call it encouragement. I do. People call it what they want. I call it encouragement, but I do appreciate that. One common violation that's talked about in the field with our code enforcement officers is 220-63, abandoned vehicles on private property. No, you cannot warehouse abandoned vehicles on private property. It absolutely is the #1 destroyer of property values. throughout Yeadon. So help us out a little bit. Enforcement is way up in that regard. And we ask that our residents to help us help you maintain your property values. That's all I have.
Would you like to discuss what we're working on currently, in addition to updating and creating ordinances to ensure that we can maintain a decent quality of life? Where we are also working on shade tree replacements. We're coming up with a plan to replace some of the shade trees that were taken down because they were destroying the sidewalls. So we are coming up with a plan. If you have any concerns or any suggestions with respect to how we can start replacing the shade trees, I do understand that some people don't want a shade tree for various reasons, but we are a tree-lined community, and shade trees absolutely has a financial value and a physical, emotional value as well to your health value. So we are working on a plan. We're going to start with the heavily traveled streets and come up with how many trees, what type of trees, so forth and so on, that will be planted, replaced on the specific trees. So I think that was the only thing different that we discussed, right?
Yep. And we are going to have a tile on the website for those residents who want a shade tree to be able to go in and request, and we'll analyze along with Public Works and the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society, PHS. And the store, and I think Mr. Pizzulo has a little bit about that as well.
Right. You have a little bit? All right, when you, okay, no, when you ready, your turn. No, I don't know if it's your turn yet.
Keep doing your thing.
No, I'm done. That was it. Yeah, I'm done. That was it. Oh, okay. Mike Pizzulo, Public Works, green time. Come on down. So wait, there is the code report? There is the code report.
Public Works.
Thank you very much.
So let's go to shade trees. We have 21 trees being donated by the Stormwater Collaborative. They're going to be dropped off tomorrow, some seedlings. I'm actually going to go pick up another 20 of larger trees from the Stormwater Collaborative. So we'll address these trees, where they're supposed to go, put them on the our website. People can offer them. We're going to get them planted. We're going to do our thing. Let's go back to, how about, okay, Delaware County has declared a no burn for our drought. No burn, no open burns, no fire pits, no fireworks whatsoever. Grills, charcoal, smokers, all that is allowed. It's a dangerous situation now for our drought. So please be aware of all that. Our yard waste has been suspended till spring because of our leaf collection. E-waste is,
I think you got that good. You said yard waste is?
yard waste has been suspended till spring. We're not accepting any more yard waste.
Okay.
Go
ahead, sorry.
We're picking up leaves. Yard waste, like I said, it's winter time. Yard waste should be suspended till spring. E-waste is November 22nd between 8 and 2:30 for any residents to drop off. Our leaf collection is in full force as usual until December 20th. What do we have here? Let's go back to the Veterans Luncheon. Fantastic. Everybody did a fantastic job. Our trunk or treat was another fantastic event. Road closures. Aqua will be closing some roads for restoration, Allen Drive. between Church Lane and Duncan. They'll be doing Patricia Drive in Parkview Court, Hereford Place. All this is being restored from their water main. McDade Boulevard, West Cobb Street Parkway from Chester to Church Lane. I believe tomorrow they're going to start through Wednesday restoring that portion of the road for the road restoration. Gas company, okay. And that ends my report. Any other questions?
The Legacy Brick Garden?
The Legacy Brick Garden was a beautiful success. What a great turnout. I think everybody was
I
there.
was looking at your report.
It was really nice. I mean, like I said, my report is a stand. Everybody can read that. Yeah, it was great. There was a lot of good things that was going on this month. Really.
Mr. Bazzullo, can you give examples of what e-waste is and is not?
E-waste is anything with a plug, anything that's plugged into the wall, anything electronic is e-waste. It doesn't matter if it's a computer, a television screen, you name it, a fan, a radio. We recycle everything, and it all goes to the proper place to be recycled. So we'll take all of it.
And why don't we throw that in the trash?
Because it's not allowed. Why would we throw it in the trash? Absolutely. We don't want it in a landfill. We want to recycle it. We're a recycling community. Absolutely.
And that resumes in the spring too.
No, e-waste goes, never stops. E-waste is every month. Absolutely.
Okay, then that's why I'm confused, because I think
There's-
it's
there's-
backwards on your report.
Excuse me, my report. There was an issue with my report. I didn't change it. There was a typo on my report. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right, so
Excuse me.
yard waste will resume in the spring, and when is our next e-waste?
E-waste is the 11th of this month.
Okay,
It's the 22nd of this month.
I'm sorry, 22nd of this month. 11, 22, 24.
And then-
This month. Yeah.
is this looks
December?
Yes, December. I don't have the date on December.
okay. All right, we'll make sure to get your updated report.
Thank you.
So,
Any other questions?
Okay,
I have a question. With respect to the e-waste, what if someone has a refrigerator, a resident has a refrigerator that they would like to get rid of?
They call it Barry, they call you lost.
The microphone,
They
please.
either call myself or the third floor, make an arrangement, and we come pick that up.
Okay, okay.
So refrigerators, air conditioners. If the residents can't get it to us and they're too big of an item, we will go pick them up for them.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Is there anything that the resident has to do with the refrigerator prior to sitting it out and calling?
No, as soon as they call, we go pick it up immediately. We don't want a refrigerator sitting out there with a door on it. If it's going to be out there more than one day,
They
I
have
will
to take the
request them
doors
to take the
off.
door off. Absolutely,
Right,
for safety.
okay. But they
we're-
should call the borough and you'll go right there and pick it up.
Immediately, we go the next day for that. That's a
Right.
dangerous situation. Absolutely.
Okay.
You pick it up from outside, right?
They bring it outside. Once they get it outside, we pick it up immediately. We do not go in people's
You
residence
take
for
food
that.
out, right?
Most of the time. Most of the time.
Okay. And you'll let them know to do it in the front of the home or in the back?
They usually put it out where their trash is regularly picked up.
Okay, with
And
the
if
trash.
certain residents cannot get it out there.
Right.
Some elderly residents have problems with that. If they get it outside, we'll take care of it for them. Absolutely.
Right, okay. Thank you.
Councilman Trueheart?
So the question I have is, our trash pickup is Mondays. So with Veterans Day being Monday and it's a national holiday, normally we would not have trash pickup. And I have to say I was negligent. I didn't even think to look on the borough website Sunday thinking it's a national holiday. It won't be any trash. But then I was home and, just happened to be downstairs and then heard the trash truck along with several neighbors, and we're running out. Oh my goodness, there is trash pickup. So just wanted to get, it was a little confusing. That why would there have been
National holidays versus if the trash companies are working and if the county was still open. The county was open to collect trash. Our website was correct. Our calendar was correct that there was trash pickup. I don't think I received one call about trash pickup on Veterans Day. So it worked out pretty well.
Good.
Okay.
Thanksgiving week.
Thanksgiving week, trash will be picked up from Thursday's trash will be picked up Friday, and Friday's trash will be picked up Friday. For Thanksgiving week, there's no recycling on Wednesday, no trash pick on Thursday, and everything's going to be picked up on Friday, Thursdays and
But
Friday.
this information is on our website, right?
Absolutely, website
Okay.
and our calendar. Yeah,
And our calendar.
correct.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I ask a question? I'm just curious, why is recycling not picked up the day before a holiday? I'm just.
Which holiday? Which holiday? If there's a holiday that falls in a week during any week, the recycling company or the trash company can only pick up they pick up 4 days of trash that week, plus 1 day of recycling. If there's a holiday and they can't pick up that trash, they don't have the manpower. So in our schedule,
The recycling, everybody seems to be so confused, and all the time, half people are putting this recycling out, half on.
it's on the website, it's on the calendar. When there's a holiday during the week, the trash company doesn't pick up that day. They need 4 days to pick up the trash. So their recycling is suspended. It's been like that for years. It's uncomfortable. It's confusing, but it's in the calendar and it's on the website.
Because they only have 4 days.
They can only have, the manpower is 4 days to pick up trash. Trash is more important than the
That's
recycling.
feasible, thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. You done?
Yes, thank you very much.
All right. There is your report. Next we have our police emergency management. Maybe the fire department is on.
Unfortunately, Mike took my emergency management report with the burn, so there goes the emergency management. Good evening, everyone. The Yeadon Police Department responded to 1,083 calls for service in the month of October. We had 8 criminal arrests during the month. There were 6 non-traffic citation issued during that month. We stopped 150 vehicles for traffic enforcement that resulted in 166 tickets being issued. 889 parking tickets issued. And I just want to thank everybody for Trunk or Treat. It was an unbelievable success. I was saying about 300 kids, but Mike, what did you figure? It was unbelievable. And we had, and the counselors that showed up, thank you, that participated. We had Counselor Blade that looked like, I thought Wesley was walking in. I'm like, wait, Wesley got out of prison for tax evasion? But it was Counselor Blade, and Counselor Trent got put to work. My wife kind of put him to work, but thank you for everyone. It was a success. And the kids, I mean, it was a great time. We really enjoyed it, and it was a great time. And look forward to next year, hopefully bigger and better. And thanks to the school district for allowing us to host it there. And it was just unbelievable. I mean, it really was, to see the kids running around, and it was good. And I got to visit McNamee Court because they were having some issues. So we're dealing with McNamee Court, and I got to visit them.
In there.
Yeah, that was good. McNamee Court was nice. So, but that ends my report. Any questions at all?
Can we have an update on the conclusion of the incident surrounding the fights at Garfield?
Yes, there was a internal investigation conducted of allegations that officers were using foul language as they were dealing with children. The investigation was conducted. It's an internal confidential investigation. We reviewed body cam footage. We conducted interviews. The complainant never came forward. It was requested 2 times for this individual to come forward, never came forward. So at the conclusion, both the officers were exonerated. A letter of final was sent out to the complainant where they have the option, if they don't like our decision, they can go to the county to have the county CID investigate it.
And by exonerated, you mean that the body cam found that there was no use of foul language towards the children?
The allegations were unfounded, yes.
The allegations were unfounded.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
No.
So I do want to thank you for your service when you're probably not thanked enough, but I still want your head to be able to fit through the door. Since we have taken on this task of running this community together, you have been very present. When there were issues at Fairfield, you and we went directly to the school district and had a meeting immediately after. And, of course, on behalf of Mayor Hopkins, who was gallivanting around the world having fun. But, we, well deserved, but we do take action and we do take it seriously. We come up with agreements with the school district. And when we saw that there were deficiencies in that agreement because they were also renting it privately, we had another meeting. And before they can have any other events there, they have to come up with a viable plan for this community. So know that, we are all collectively and proactively working for the betterment of this community. It's not just about the fun things. It's not just the food drives, the blood drives, the Veterans Day celebrations. It's also making sure that, that we can recycle our products effectively and that our yard waste gets where it needs to be. It's all of us. It's that our code office, with all of the encouragement of Council Road Cloud, is performing. And, it may not be visible, all of the undercurrents that are happening, but it's definitely appreciated as a resident and as the president. So thank you.
And if I can, Madam President, and everyone in the room, I joke around, but Rafi, Borough Manager, and Mike, I refer to us as a three-headed monster. I mean, I obviously have the most to shine, but we work together every day, like collaborate. Today, the power went out. Mike's out there. Rafi's out. Well, I saved Mike in the elevator first. He was in the elevator, so I had to run up the steps and save him.
So you are the fire department.
Yeah, so I'm the fire department, so I had to save. But we're out there directing traffic, and we collectively work together to get stuff done. And as the mayor was gallivanting, you did it. Like I said, you did a great job over there. You held them to task. And I think people were conflating stories about us not meeting. We met for the first one when it was, an issue with an actual sanctioned event with the school district. The second incident already, so that's why there was a second meeting. We already had meetings, and we had a meeting that Monday. I mean,
Right.
We demanded a meeting, we got a meeting, and we got to work together. I mean, as Rafi said at one of the meetings, like, give us a chance. Like, I mean, I know we live in instant gratification, but give us a chance to get it done. Like, before you want to blast us and put stuff out there, come to us first. We'll get it done. And that's just the way it should work.
Absolutely.
But respectfully, not, So,
Absolutely. So I do appreciate that. So just keep up the good work.
thank you. That ends my report. And I will get an award for the fire department, right? Since they're never here.
All right, so I see a new item on our agenda, the Planning Commission.
Yeah, so, Madam President, so the Planning Commission, we are still in the process of working on defining what our goals and objectives are going to be over the next 3 to 5 years for the community, but also we have reviewed, there was a property, 101 Lincoln Avenue, and this process started about 4 years ago, where the neighbor actually purchased about 2,000 square feet from her neighbor to extend the size of the driveway. So that was put together. I know our engineer has reviewed it. There are attorneys involved, and then it had to go before Delaware County Planning Commission, which it did, and they have approved it. So now it has come back to us for us to review it. And so our Planning Commission did review it, held a special meeting the other night to review it. And we have approved it, but now we have to wait for an additional document so that we can then bring it before council for the formal vote. And then all of that information will be shared, all of the updated, because I'm sure you've probably seen the prior documents leading up, because it started out in 2020 when this process started. Yes.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to that. Let's see. Before we'll allow I am not going to close this meeting out without you, Mr. Hunter. I was going to say, while you make your way up to the podium, I was going to give a few tidbits about a meeting that we held here at the borough. Our borough manager, Senator Williams, came over, as well as Mr. Stanley from Restore Dispensary, and just talked about community collaborations and how the dispensary has been a really good neighbor, and the senator has definitely taken them to task providing additional assistance to our community outside of just like food giveaways. So we want to make sure that that we continue collaborating and working together. The way that this fits in with the Planning Commission is that we talked about a number of grants and being an entity that is able to receive grants. So we want to make sure that goes through the YEDC that will report to our Planning Commission. So we are getting these ducks in a row, getting things tightened up to make sure that we can continue to secure these grants and have the support of our state representatives and senators. So thank you for coming to the podium, Mr. Hunter. Would you like to tell us about
took me a while to get my way up. We had track practice today. It's cold out there.
It is.
I'm still trying to thaw out. But good evening, council. People have already spoken about the Veterans Day program. It was fantastic. And the only thing I want to do is just thank everyone. Public Works, Chief was always around. It was just amazing. Pannoni Engineers gave us a donation to make this whole thing work. And we had 60, 70 people there. Fantastic. The catering was fantastic. Place really looked nice. So it was really a good situation. So kudos to everyone who was involved in that. On the next day, Sunday, we had 40 residents from Yeadon who went out to Urban Roots Farms and received fruits, vegetables, food, toured the farm, saw what Jack Goldenberg was doing. We have over 70 people. Actually, we probably have closer to 90 people in the program now because we have people that we deliver to who live in Yeadon and can't get out. So the program has been going on for 4 years now, and it's been just fantastic. So we have to get Jack in here at one time so you guys can meet him as soon as he dusts himself off, because he's very seldom looks real clean from digging in the dirt. So it's an amazing situation. But we want to thank Jack and the farm for having us out there. We have one more week of vegetables. We have sweet potatoes, acorn squash, and cauliflower in the kitchen if you want it. I would suggest you eat it because we have the blood drive on the 22nd, so you can eat your food after you give your blood. On the Thanksgiving, you can have all the acorn squash and everything you need. So we have one more time around for the vegetables next week, and then we'll be done. Excuse me. I think Mike already mentioned 21 trees that we're getting from the collaborative. This just shows you we were one of the founding members of the collaborative, and now we're starting to see the fruits of our labor with the collaborative. So we're getting 21 trees. The collaborative just received $276,000 from DCNR to work with the parks in the 8 boroughs in the collaborative. Of course, Community Park is one of them. So we're going to remove some trees in Community Park and we're going to plant some new ones. So we just received that grant notice of $276,000 for the 8 boroughs in the collaborative. So we're moving right ahead. And as we talk about shade trees, we'll try to bounce that off of the collaborative and see what we can do to garner some shade trees and trees for people's property. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That ends my report.
So our 99-year-old
Yes.
honoree, Ms. Alma Bailey, she wanted to make sure that, I bore the brunt of this for all of us, but we got in trouble for not picking her up.
Exactly.
So whenever we have anything else, somebody better pick her up.
Yes.
Or everybody better pick her up.
She made that known.
She made that known. She was not shy about it. So this is our proclamation that we will be picking up Ms. Bailey. And we invite her anywhere else, okay? Because I made that promise. All right, Councilor Peets.
Just wanted to commend the veterans and everybody who made that Veterans Day function happen. It was amazing. And just quick point I wanted to say is that with the elections and all these events that I've been in a lot of rooms with different dignitaries from around Philadelphia, Delaware County, rooms where Yeadon used to be the redheaded stepchild is now becoming the shining star. So we're getting it done. Just wanted to let that be known. That's all.
Oh, thank you, Councilor Pete. Appreciate that. And without further ado, 15 minutes to kick off. I'd like to adjourn this meeting. Motion to adjourn.
I got a couple other, no.
This meeting's adjourned. Thank you very much.